Welcome to the first ever Incompetent Gamers podcast. Yeah, this is the first episode of Incompetent Gamers where I'm with myself, the host, General Fluffs, also known as Ken. That's my real name. We got over here, we got Lazy, or Felix. We've got below me, we got Apex, or Andrew. And then in the opposite complete corner, we have Bendak, aka Dave. So everyone, Felix, if you want to say something real quick.
I like frogs.
All right, we got Andrew, Apex.
Buenos dias, power bottoms.
Fuck you. That's mine.
and then we got Dave over there. If you would like to say something.
Don't get caught lacking.
Don't get caught lacking. Not at all. No. So you can be joining us here on any one of our platforms that we're doing. So it's either going to be Twitch, which will be every Sunday at noon. Spotify is still on the table. We're still working with that because it takes time to get that set up. And then YouTube will be every Wednesday, or no, sorry, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. I think is when I'll be uploading it. So just tune in for any of those. Any other platforms will be determined in the future. But for this first podcast, the title is going to be "Who Are We?" These guys were actually given how this works is. These guys are given a single word or phrase a week or so before the whole podcast to kind of formulate an idea, but they're not given anything we're going to talk about or anything I'm going to ask them about. So, who are we? Is basically just going to be the whole thing is who is this group of guys? We've known each other for almost 6 years. Me and Dave have known each other for about 6.5. These guys about all four of us about 5.5. Meeting online and yeah, so let's talk about some stuff. First of all, I think the main thing we should talk about, because we're all here, we're meeting in a month.
Yes.
A month and a half.
In
So,
Washington.
yeah, we have a Ren Fair that me and Andrew have met up, or Apex have met up before in, because it's in between us. And Felix and Dave, or Lazy and Bendak, have both met up in a separate instance. So two of us have both met up at different times. So if Felix and Dave want to talk about theirs real quick, me and Andrew can talk about ours. It's like, how did that go? Like, what was it like meeting you guys for the first time after so many years?
It was awkward as fuck at first because, like, I think I told you this, Dave, when we first met. Not to be a dick, but you were like, I knew you were short. But I did not expect you to be as short as you were.
I was only like 5, not barely even 5'8" at the time, and I think I'm still only like 5'8" now, and I'm gonna be honest, like as far as like even before that happened, I don't exactly what had us like spark the idea to actually do it, because like all of us had like made ideas to like meet up and shit before. It's just like yeah, and then just one day it wasn't like there wasn't any specific like special occasion or anything. It was just like, hey, I think why not?
I remember the exact situation too. You and I were, I think Andrew and Ken had got off for the night. You and I were still on a call and we were actually pretty drunk.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, and what was it, like a month later you ended up flying up here?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It was around like 2019. Yeah.
That was the first one was 20. What time was the second one?
You came up here twice. So the second time was like it wasn't the end of 2020, because I think what I've noticed is that it's been like a 2-year gap between like going out between those places, and it's going to be another 2 years between the last time I met you and then seeing all four of us in one spot. I think it was in it was like late or summer 2021, because we had just gotten through like the COVID shit. Or either that, or it was before, or it was like late 2020. I couldn't, because I know it was in like.
Remember, there was a lot of stuff going on
September,
during the second
October.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me and Andrew, we met at this Renaissance fair. So randomly, like last summer, almost exactly last summer, Andrew's like, "Hey, have you ever been to like a Renaissance fair before?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "Well, that's interesting, because there's one in Washington that I go to like every year." I'm like, why have you not told me this? And he's like, oh yeah, we just drive up there and like and stay in like a hotel or something. I'm like, you realize I could drive there and meet you halfway. He's like, oh yeah, you could. so,
so we were going for at least 1 year prior, so it wasn't the first thing. And when we went that 1 year, it was kind of spontaneous. So when I was there, it was when I think I told you something about it, but you weren't able to because I think you were in college at the time. I can't remember.
No, I wouldn't have been in college actually. If it was the summer, the only thing I would have been doing would have been working.
Yeah, because you just started college 2020, right?
Yeah, I graduated so I graduated early or mid 2020, and then end of 2020 is when I went to college. So I'm about to go into my third year actually, which is holy crap, man, guys.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. Like we've been
you're the baby in the group.
Yeah, I know. We've been friends for this long, and I'm just getting through this whole thing. And no, but yeah, we that was such a weird thing because I'm like freaking out the whole time driving like what is it 2 hours or something there, and
I think
I'm like
you were an hour and a half away when you were texting me like, all right, I'm coming, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is happening.
Yeah, and then I get in,
I'm like totally dressed up way too far, and I was like, I've gone too far now.
It's happening.
I don't have any photos of this guy, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for Andrew, this tall, lumbering, ginger, blonde guy, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta find him. And then I look around, and I'm like, where the fuck is he? And I see this like white coat with this big horns, long hair, purple face, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he got this big staff, and I'm like, oh my god, this is how we're first meeting, this dipshit.
I mean, you were going to a Ren fair where like everybody is going to be cosplaying and stuff, but I guess at the same token, I wouldn't expect him to be like full ready the first time.
You could have run into him being in a much worse outfit.
I mean,
yeah,
this is true.
Yeah, this is very true. This is very true. Yeah. So
for reference, though, I was dressed up as a tiefling that I'm playing in my D&D campaign that ended last year.
Yeah, I was taken aback, and I'm like, do I hug you? Like, I feel this is weird. I'm like, it was very awkward at first, but we kind of talked throughout it, and it was a pretty fun experience. We went 2 separate weekends. I couldn't make it like the last day of the second weekend because I had to literally go to college. So
yeah, I don't think we went either though, so it's all right.
All right, but yeah, but speaking of that Ren Fair,
coming up again.
It's gonna happen again, except these two motherfuckers, Lazy and Bendak, Dave and Felix, are going to be flying out too and staying at my house, and Andrew's gonna be driving up and staying at my house, for 1 weekend of that Ren Fair.
All the boys together.
We're all sleeping in my house.
Wait, all of us now? I thought Felix. I thought you were getting a hotel.
No, Felix is no.
So what's going on?
Sharing a bed with me.
Yeah, what I was explaining with the hotel thing when you walked in, Dave, is so on the night before my girlfriend and I fly out, we're going to we have to drive like 200 miles out to Bozeman, and we're gonna stay at a hotel there for the night, and then at like 5 o'clock in the morning head to the airport and fly out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we have a guest room and 2 extra twin beds that my mom is taking from my grandmother's house because we have guests coming over for her wedding. So I just said, hey,
that's happening.
Can I just keep those and throw some idiots on them in the main room for a weekend, not too long after? And so, yeah, that's basically what's happening. We got Dave and Andrew sleeping in the area, open area, and then we have Felix and his girlfriend taking the guest room. No weird shit though, so make sure.
Right. I do have one question. Who's pairing up with who during shower time?
Yeah, we have limited water.
That's something
here,
we got to figure out.
I think we should all just do it. The
Okay.
girlfriend is the only one that gets her own, and then all 4 of us just and then we're all just 4 of us. We just get to rub each other's backs.
All right, yeah, that works. That works for me. My back is pretty big, so
just like sports room locker shit.
Yeah. We have
gonna be backing up, changing. I'm gonna bend over to put up my pants and go butt bump
Or we could
with
do-
one of y'all.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
whoops, sorry.
we can go military style and just nuts and butts chain through, just circling. That's it.
Well, that's just because you tried to get in the Navy. That's just what the Navy do.
That's just what the Navy does.
Navy is the tip to butt motherfuckers. Like,
I mean, I
That
can't
is what
comment
that
on
is what they are.
I mean, yeah, well, but hey, we have. Oh man, I can't believe it's been like this whole idea was formulated how long ago of us all coming down? Like, was it just the beginning of summer? Or?
No. Oh, for
Do
August?
you mean
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
August specifically, I think it was around the beginning of the summer. We're like, we need to all figure something out, and then the Ren Fair came up.
Yeah,
We've been
because
talking about meeting up though
meeting for
since about our
years.
first year of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2017. I met Dave in 2016 as a reference.
Yeah.
And then we all met each other. Like I met Dave on a RPG server. And then we moved on. Like he moved on to a different one, and then invited me with him. And then after a couple months of that, I ran into these idiots, who took forever to join us because of reasons. And then from there, we all just kind of kept talking. I mean, we all we've had moments like throughout this almost 6 years or 6 or whatever years of like we don't talk for a little bit, but we always end up coming back together, and it's always like we never really stop talking. We always we just kind of pick it up.
I mean, whenever we don't talk to each other, for the most part, it's just like because all of us are still like, I think the oldest one here is like 22. So
Yeah.
like
No,
No.
Andrew's
like
old
we're
as
all
here, dude.
yeah.
Wait, what?
So like yeah. So what is it? Like we're all still in that area of like we're just trying to figure stuff out, and like
Andrew,
sometimes it's like you just got to take life first and all that.
Andrew, are you 23 or 24?
I'm gonna turn 24 in about like 7 more days.
Damn, I thought you were
Right,
22.
yeah. Nope.
Oh my god. So what we got? Is it literally 1 year each? It's like me 20, Dave 21, Felix
Yeah, I'm
22,
22.
and then Andrew 23. Look at that.
Currently, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, holy shit. Just in stepping stones, each of us different
Yeah.
ages, and yeah. Am I the only one of us to go through college like properly?
Yes.
I've
never
so-
touched college, period.
Fuck, man.
I kind of got fucked over by college, so I've been like I've been kind of cautious with picking out, because I have a degree I'm gonna go for. I'm cautious with picking a school because I tried to go with so Full Sail had this thing for a while where you could try out a month for free, talk to some of the professors, go through a couple of classes, see if it's somewhere you'd like to go. And I did that, and it was supposed to be completely free, right? Just a month trial. But when I finished it, I was like, "Okay, I don't think this is school for me. I'm gonna go look for more." And then they sent me a bill for $12,000. And so when I made that money back off of, because I was selling crypto, I was doing AMP for a while, like I told you guys, I made 12 grand off of it, and that went straight to just paying that off, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Oh, I hopped on that too, and it bounced pretty good. I
It
told my
did.
parents to get on that too, and they were like, it's all right. It's nothing much. But then as soon as it did that big spike from when
Yeah.
we bought it to where it was when we sold it,
Good cash. Wish
Easy
I could have kept it.
I should have gotten into that. I was a little slow.
Oh,
I
you're
didn't,
good.
I didn't have money when you guys when it was happening. Like I was barely getting into work, and I was spending a lot of what I was getting.
Right.
So I mean, you guys were like, "Oh, you guys you should invest." I'm like, I don't have enough money for that.
I can't invest.
It's like, oh man, no, I wish I did. 'Cause I would have so much more.
I turned $400 into 12 grand. So
That's sick. That sickens me. It's sick. It doesn't sicken
sickens
me,
me that I had to spend it.
Well, no, it sickens me that it's like, usually you'll see online, it's like people who make like millions off Bitcoin. It's like, oh, if only I had known. It's like, but you guys are like, it's like that. You're one step away from me. Like, if I just listened to you, literally someone in my life, and who told me that, I would have gotten that same exact shit. Like, God, man.
But like,
even at 14.
Like, it's not that we weren't listening to them. I think in this scenario, it's just like, shit, we did not have the assets to do that at the time.
I mean, yeah, because I had been working at that point since I was 14. So,
yeah.
I was just sitting around in like Costco land, like just starting, and I had a few bucks to my name, so I was like, yeah, sure, why the hell not? Let's try it.
Yeah. See, that's just where I fucked up. That's where I fucked up.
So I'll go ahead and tell you now. Then now is the best time to start investing, because we're technically we are in a recession here in the United States, and all the stuff going down. Now is the time to buy in.
No, really.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I still think it's hilarious that like the stock market works as it does, and crypto works as it is, because the way that you can even sell or buy at a time when it's low, or sell at a time when it's high, means there are idiots who are doing the complete opposite of what they should be doing, where they're selling low and buying high. It's like, how do you like, I don't get that. Like, how do you not realize, hey, I shouldn't be selling when this tanks, so I'm automatically losing money, and then buying when it's peaking? It's
Right.
like, what are you doing? Like, you're doing the complete opposite of what you should be doing. But that's
So, like,
you need the idiots to make the smart ones.
I'll be honest,
money. Like,
with that, what my assumption is, because I've caught myself doing it before when I was in a hard place, is what I had done at one point was I was running low on money, and the crypto I was investing in was it tanked a little bit. So but I needed some cash, so I pulled that $200 out that I had in it, and then it went back up, and I was like, shit, it might start going back up again. So I put another $200 in, even though it was up high, and then it crashed again. And yeah, I think that's just the kind of cycle they get into, really. But I mean, yeah, like you said, without that, we wouldn't have the fluctuation where people make a lot of money and then so on and so forth.
That's just wild to me.
I think that's when I made an extra 150. It was right after you pulled out. And I was just like, what are you doing? Don't do that. It's still going. And it went.
Yeah.
No, I actually just recently cashed out a little bit of mine, or at least what was left, because of how far it's gone down. And I've been wanting to hold on to it, not in a physical, not like on a credit card, but actually physically. And it shows, because now it's kind of like a physical thing that I can see. It's like, yeah, this is actually kind of working. This money just kind of appeared because I waited.
Yeah.
And actually, believe it or not, there you go.
Look at him pulling out the
fucking rolling in dough.
I pulled this out because of the Ren Fair.
Dave might take it from
you. What?
Oh, so
right.
actually, speaking of the Ren
got
Fair,
the ski mask. I forget.
He's ready to take it from
the
you,
money.
Speaking of the Ren Fair, though, I've been meaning to ask: is it most of the vendors are most of them going to be cash only?
No. A lot of them.
A lot of them. Okay, really? I figured.
No, some of the
a lot of them are.
A lot of big ticket ones, though. They have a lot of. I use my card
like
quite a lot.
I would have figured that nowadays there would be plenty of people who just have like the square attachment.
No, they do.
Oh, a lot of them do. Yeah.
No,
but
yeah.
Also, a lot of them are like, oh yeah, I take cash only sometimes.
I mean, the smaller ones.
Those are
like,
usually the good ones.
The smaller ones that are like making their own little like potion vials and stuff. You'll probably see that. But like, I bought my $400 axe with my card. I bought my pauldron with my card. You know.
Wait, you bought an axe for $400?
Yeah, we have me and Apex have matching Damascus steel axes. Hold on.
Yeah.
What? I don't.
Well, I found my sword.
I was about to say, I'm still trying to decide if I want to bring my sword or not, because I can bring it on as something extra. But yeah.
If Apex is getting his, I've got mine. If you can see this on the YouTube, Twitch, or actually this won't be on Twitch if you're not here, but this will be on the YouTube or possibly Spotify video. But this is the axe we got. It's matching. Yeah, look at that. Look at this. He's gonna pull his out. We have sister axes. I think these are the only two, right? They only thought they had one, but they've pulled one out of their ass the last second.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now we got to find something that all four of us can buy matching.
So, your leather doesn't your leather thing like barely function? Like your leather.
Mine works really well.
Really? Because I thought it was falling apart. I thought it was falling apart somewhere. Wasn't it?
Mine's fine.
No, I meant this part. The leather
sheath?
holster, the sheath. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's like half torn off already.
Oh no!
It was like falling apart at the Ren Fair, and he's like, "Oh man, that sucks." I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Mine works.
Mine works.
which is funny because this fucker. I'm like, "Oh, I want that axe," and then Andrew's like, "I'll buy that." Right in front of me. I'm like, "You mother!" I was so mad, and then I'm like,
"Wow!" And I was like, I was looking at it first, and I was like, "I saw it first." My eyes glanced at it first,
and I was like, "Oh, do you guys have another one?" He's like, "I don't think so, but we can look." And they pulled it out from underneath the floor with like all of their other bulk stuff. I'm like, "Oh, yo!" And so we got it. Yeah, see, it's like shearing off because like how like the edge of the back is just cutting into it.
It's cutting into the side of the blade. Yeah,
mine doesn't do that because it's like a loop almost. Like it actually bends out from it, but yours just cuts into it really bad. You must have done it really tight on that.
Well, they made the actual handle part of it really, really loose to the axe. So when it was holding onto the side of it, it was just sliding up. So I have to I readjusted it. So now that this little pivot back here, I put a little new nut on it, and it's gonna hold it from below instead.
So in other words, it's karma for trying to steal your axe.
yeah. No, but yeah, it's great. And I recently just
complete my collection, you know.
I recently just ordered some new stuff. I got a whole like chest piece leather thing. The pauldron that I have is basically just not going to work anymore unless you guys can help me figure that one out. But otherwise, I think I'm just gonna have to throw that for another thing eventually.
I got a big long sword.
Mm.
So I like mine because it's actually war torn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all dented and.
So I was gonna say, so they made it shitty and then they put a thing on it that said war torn, so then you can
well, no, so that's the thing actually.
For it.
Well, that's the funny story about it. So I actually got
CS:GO
this.
marketplace be like.
It wasn't always like that. So in 2018, I was actually working at a warehouse, and this old dude, he's like, I think he's 60 something. He loves going to Ren fairs and shit like that. He bought this sword brand new, and he made it look tarnished. And then he made this leather sheath for it, and he needed to get rid of a bunch of his swords because he was low on money, and he had some tools that he couldn't really use and stuff like that. And I was like, I'll buy it from you. He was like $200. I was like, fuck it, I'll buy that for $200. That's a nice ass sword. And so I just got a $200 sword from the dude I worked with.
Nice. See? That works. So we're gonna do the first thing real quick. Gonna take us a little off topic. We're gonna do our first trivia for today. So this is relating kind of to the topic, but also to the word that I gave these guys. The word was friends, and so this trivia question, I'm gonna put up on the screen real quick, and I'll read it to you guys. You guys probably know what this is, so but no looking it up. I want everyone to stop going through your web browsers. I see you, Andrew. You little shit. I saw something flash on your screen.
You little cheater.
I was moving Discord to my main screen.
Tie my hands behind my back.
All right,
Discord to your main screen so you could look at the other one and cheat. Huh?
All right,
trivia. My TV behind me. What are you talking about?
What's the longest game of tag between a group of friends that has been recorded? You guys probably have heard about this because there's a movie with Jeremy Renner, called Tag. So it's the one, is it 20 years? Two, or about 20 years? Two, about 30 years, or three, about 40 years. What do you guys think?
If I remember correctly, it was around 40 years because there was an update not too long ago, just a few years ago, I think, where one of the members died. And they were pretty old, and they've been doing it since they were younger. So I think if I remember correctly, that's what it is.
You saying 40 years?
I'm saying about 40 years, yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone got anything else? About 20, 30, about 20, 30, or 40?
I want to say 40 as well.
About 40?
It wouldn't be a world record if it was a shorter number.
Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, fair.
So, here's the thing. Interesting enough, what I've read so far and what I've gathered from this is the thing actually started initially around, I think it was the 70s or the 80s, as these guys were in school. And they played tag for like a couple months, and then they all kind of lost touch with each other. But then they came back together in the 90s and restarted it and continued it from there every year of 1 month. So actually, it's about 30 years.
Okay.
So they've been. So if you don't count the gap where the
gap,
they've been running this game for approximately 30 years.
Damn.
Which is insane.
That's still, that's. But like I said,
insane.
Didn't one of the members pass away just a few years ago? They're older guys. They're older now.
Oh man, it was. They're getting old. I think one of them did pass away, but that's just insane to think. 30 years of a game of tag. You guys can't wait to see you in 30 years.
Yeah, right.
Like, Christ.
Oh,
Jesus.
We'll play a game of chicken in the shower.
One of us is gonna tag each other on the last day of the Ren Fair, and it's gonna go on as like haunting, like, oh god, when he's gonna fly over and come smack me in the back of the head while I'm streaming, and then run away.
So we're trying to break a world record now. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know about that one, but no, that was insane because like I read a thing where one of the dudes was like tagged on the last day of the month that it was active. And you know how it worked is they were for a whole month of tagging and then a whole year until the next month.
Yep.
So that you would be left with the shame of being it. He was like in California. No, he was like in Oregon or something. And he was so fucking mad that he got tagged on the last day because you can't do a tag back. He drove like multiple hours to California just to surprise someone at their work, ran into their office building, through like the security, pushed the guy over, said, "Tag, you're it, bitch," and ran back out, scaring everyone in the office. And it was
awesome.
like, that's such a
I
great
love
move.
that.
And
That's a Chad move right there.
That is a Chad move.
I
would have figured I didn't know the entire like context of that story. So I honestly thought that for like 30 years that's literally what they were doing. They would just get surprised out of nowhere and be like, "Oh fuck."
No, yeah, one of them flew to like Hawaii or something like during it to try and like hide, and then some dude literally one of the dudes followed him, climbed in his trunk when they weren't paying attention. He opened the trunk and he surprised him and his wife so bad the wife fell over and like tore a muscle in her leg. Like it was that's how like surprising it was. He just jumped out of the trunk and tagged him, and his wife fell over and she had to get surgery or something. So yeah, it was, I mean, that's pretty funny though. How committed these guys were. Like one of them was a pastor, one of them was like a tech CEO or something. Like all these different guys in different parts of their lives, and just that's so funny. I mean, I think
it's insane that they reconnected like that through the night, like back in the 90s, because I mean, even then the technology was not quite where it is, where people were so like connected. So there must have been something that brought them back together around then.
They might have probably. I would just assume hometown. Like maybe they came back and then like
maybe high school reunion or something.
Or something. Yeah, probably. Oh, it was that. No, I read it. Yeah, it was a high school reunion.
Okay.
They came back for a high school reunion and they're like, "Hey, remember that game of tag we had going on forever?" And they're like, "Yeah, tag, you're it." And that's it.
There it is.
They have a legally binding contract of like the rules and stipulations during that month of what they can and can't do. Otherwise, I think either they get fined or like they're guaranteed it, which is like this weird thing that lawyers came together and wrote this document. So
lawyers have been together to write the weirdest shit though.
That's so good though, man. Like these guys took that so far, and I mean, I don't think I could ever be so committed, but I mean, I'd love to do that. Like fly across the world or something, just to tag one of you motherfuckers in the middle of nowhere.
Which YouTube ever takes off, we got the chance.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that is true.
We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Infamous game of gamer tag.
I could. There is possibility, like, if I end up becoming a full-on trucker and all that, there's possibility that I could just be driving across the country and just be like, oh no, guess where I stopped? Boop.
No, yeah,
we're just working one of these days, unloading one of the trucks, and you're gonna come out of the box.
You just see me come out from behind a pallet, and I'm just like,
oh man,
where are you gonna go though?
Huh?
Was there no tag backs after that instance?
Yeah, there's no tag bags.
Yeah, wow. I think they're like automatically. If someone went through all that work, you can't just like tag them back again 2 seconds later. That'd be lame.
Yeah, that's not an issue for you, Andrew. Ken only lives a few hours away.
Yeah, I know, man. Like that's the thing. It's like, oh man. I mean, even you, Felix, like you're still.
I'm a 14-hour drive away. What are you talking about?
You are still 14 hours, but I mean, I'm not gonna be able to drive to Dave.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Us three are gonna be like the main drive. Like, oh, if I'm really committed for this, like a drive.
Listen, I will spend $300 a year to fly to one of you motherfuckers. All right, I don't care.
I mean, that's fair. I do the same. If it was like
only $300.
Oh yeah,
it's cheap to fly out of my state, bro.
Yeah, Dave's screwed with 800 or something. Jeez, man. Everyone wants to go to Seattle, apparently. Fuck, why would you want to come here? This place sucks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for real.
It looks so good outside. Like everyone's like, "Oh, the Space Needle." It's like, no, the Space Needle sucks. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, Seattle's so nice. Like the homeless population's like second worst in the United States. Why do you want to come here? It's like it's so gross. You have a chance of getting like shit thrown at you by a homeless dude. It's like, why do you want to come here?
I was on, speaking of that shit, I was on TikTok literally the other day, and there was this video of these two dudes in the street bare fisting each other and fighting with bare fists. I always forget people don't use the same slang that we do here. Anyway,
like, two shirtless guys bare fisting each other.
Two bare fists. They're fighting each other bare fists. And then the camera just pans to this dude, like this really like fat dude, just in the background, squatting in some other person's yard, fucking taking a fat shit. He wipes his ass with his hand, smells it, pulls his pants up, and walks away.
Where was this? Seattle?
I don't know. It was some large city.
I like
probably Portland.
This time, like, I'm talking about Seattle. He's like, yeah, this fat dude taking a shit in the lawn, wipe his ass. Like, god damn.
Well, you
man.
said disgusting and homeless.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad over here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just. I mean, there's some like nice places. Like every city's got like the nice like little genuine like restaurant, like family owned that everyone goes to because it's a walk up. It's good. It's like that kind of thing is nice and wholesome. But then you go walk around, and you're like, oh man, that's a homeless guy fucking some random chick. Like I'm good. You got that?
Again,
I'm good.
Well,
He's
it's
giving
either
himself a
that or like
vaccination under the bridge.
either that or larger cities that like they try and do and perform like some form of gentrification in their city and make it nicer. Like there's still they'll have like maybe a solid like maybe mile circumference in the city of where it's nice, and then everything else around that area is just like
Horrific.
horrific like
Yep.
rotting roofs, foreclosure signs everywhere. It's like that's how it is in Niagara, because everybody's like, I want to go to Niagara Falls. It's like, okay, don't go 400 yards outside of Niagara Falls, because then like it's everything
awful.
just decrepit.
Well, isn't Seattle too also one of those cities that's like, oh, we want to help our homeless as much as possible, but then all around the city they have things to stop them from like sleeping comfortably and stuff like that.
We have spikes underneath, like not spikes, but like there's these concrete like little pyramids that they put underneath like certain like ramps like from the highway. They have
can't lay on the benches or anything.
They have the little metal knobs on benches where you can't skate or sleep on it comfortably. There's like certain benches that are designed so like when you lean on, like if you don't do anything other than like leaning on them, you'll like slip off them. So like they do all this stuff and they're like, oh, we want to help the homeless population, we want to give them a living wage, and then they jack up the basic the minimum wage,
where they live,
which then raises taxes and all this other stuff in the area, making it harder for everyone else to live. You should see, like, Seattle used to be, I mean, in the past 5 years, Seattle has been like the biggest growing city in the country, and now it's like it's almost leveling out because so many people are trying to get away from it. And to put this in a nice way, it's like a cancer that's growing through Washington, where it's raising minimum wage. It's like LA for California. It's creating like high minimum wage. It's what's it called? It's creating legislation that the whole state is dictated off of. That is like based off this big city, and then you cross the mountains and it's like an entirely completely different state. It's all wheat fields, it's all like mom and pop farms, and it's like this whole like it literally, you drive 4 hours. I have to drive this way to get to school every time I go from breaks and shit. It is 4 hours of wheat field. That's it for like half the state, and it's like
that's like 90% of Montana.
Yeah, and it's like this one city is dictating everything about this. Like everything's so expensive now. Like my mom bought a house in Arizona. Like half my neighborhood lives in the same neighborhood my mom does in Arizona. It's like everyone's leaving because it's so cheap over there.
And now you motherfuckers are coming over here and racking up my rates.
It's like they take this shitty this shitty mindset that made Washington, Seattle so horrible, and then they take it to these nice cheap places, and they're like, I want this to be exactly like how I left my previous place, which ruined my previous place, and then they try and treat it like it's that over there, and they ruin those places. Like you can't do that. If you have shit economics where you come from, and you want to leave that, and then you bring the same economic mentality to where you're going, you're just gonna ruin that place too. So I mean, I don't know, I don't get it. It's just ruining. But yeah, fuck, a bit of a tangent, but
no, you're good, because it's almost similar here, because I think since we live right in the middle between these two mountain ranges, these two gorges, it's like all of the people, everything is funneled straight down, and everywhere outside of that mountain range is pretty much farmland.
Yeah, but in Oregon you can also get away with smoking crack, so
that's true. Yeah.
Portland, man.
Yeah, Portland is
honestly, if you guys come to Portland, it's if you don't see fecal matter on the street,
we're doing a bump of cocaine,
then we're gonna have a good day.
I hope not. No offense, Apex, but I want to go to Portland.
I don't want to go to Portland either, because Portland's just Seattle with the crazy knob turned up to 10. Like
pretty much.
It's Florida for Seattle, for Oregon. I mean, basically.
Yeah, it's fine,
pretty
man.
much. I guess if Oregon would be the Florida Seattle.
Portland is pretty much
Portland,
just
man.
the West Side version of Chicago.
Oh God.
Ooh. I can't wait to go to Chicago in a week.
Oh, you gotta go to
off
Chicago?
topic. Do you guys ever get like a zit in the crook of your arm that looks like you're a fucking heroin addict?
Yes.
Yes.
I did that on my second week.
I have one right now.
I feel like people were staring.
And I
had one.
hate it.
Yeah, it was like, man, it looks like I keep putting IVs or fucking needles in my arm. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm not injecting. I like scratch my arm vigorously on the job site. It's like, I'm not doing anything.
Scratch your forearm.
What are you
What are you guys talking about? No, it's just a zit. I promise. You know, this right there.
It's like growing up your bicep.
I just got an itch. That's all, bro.
Oh yeah, isn't there
kind of itch?
on your left arm in the middle of your forearm? Is there a single mole like right there?
No, so actually, funny enough, right where there's that mole for 90% of other guys, I have a big ass scar from burning myself with a lighter trying to give myself a smiley face.
What?
Okay. Do you know about that shit, right, Dave?
I'm not sure, but I also have a burning scar on my arm, probably from something different.
So, a little flashback to me from 6th grade up until freshman year. From 6th grade to freshman year, I was a fucking pothead. I would smoke just about every day. And my dumbass friends and I decided, oh my God, hey, we just realized a lighter kind of looks like a smiley face a little bit. So we sat there and we held the lighter until it got super hot and just right onto our forearms trying to create a smiley face. But now it's just like a dot.
Oh my God.
What the hell? Why you just branded yourself? That's
yeah.
But it didn't even work.
It didn't. No, it's just a fucking dot that I'm stuck with for the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness.
Don't do pot, kids, especially when you're underage.
I mean, I have burn marks all over my hands. I have like, there was this one on my my thumb. Yeah, it's like it looks like it's just my skin has like melted and pulled together. Because what happened was I was 12 and we went on this cruise, and I put my arm in there like to like shove, like it was like a buffet where like they have the hot lamps to keep everything warm, and I went in to shovel food, and this motherfucker, like 400 pounds, reaches in and just like slams my hand out of the way to like get to the food quicker, and he threw my hand into the hot lamp, and my thumb, my flesh melted to the hot lamp, and I had to like pull it off the hot lamp. And and it was like this little fucking red mark of just burnt like flesh, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I couldn't feel it. It was a 3rd-degree burn. After a second, I couldn't feel it, and I just looked at it. And I'm like, "That's fucked." And I have this like permanent scar on my thumb. And this fat motherfucker was so desperate to get his slop for the day that he threw my hand into a hot lamp. Yeah, it's like, holy shit, man.
You know what? There's an idea for the next podcast. Let's talk about all the injuries we've all had.
Oh yeah, that's definitely actually funny enough. That's actually one of the ideas I have.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you right now. I've counted. I have over 300 scars on my body.
Ooh, yeah. See, I got some pretty fucked up stories, but let's save it for that podcast so we don't waste them or exhaust them. But I mean, I think we've all got some stories of some pretty fucked up shit that we've done to our bodies or that's happened to our bodies. So, some people either induced or some people accidentally.
I've got a lot of induced, trust me.
But okay, I'm gonna backtrack again because we're now at the 40-minute mark. So I want to ask the second trivia question real quick. Also, again, this pertains to the topic of friends, which we've kind of been a little off topic on, but it's fine. I mean, we're just going through this. But next trivia question, I want to see what you guys think about this one. So just quick statistic before, so that gives a little context. In your average lifetime, you'll have about 300 or so people you'll call your friend. Average people in your life. That's just goes across like people they've studied. So you'll have about 300 or so people in your life you'll call a friend. Trivia question is, on average, how many friends actually last? 1 in 5, 1 in 7, or 1 in 12? Oh, this is the average person. Like, how many friends last in your life?
I swear I've heard this one before.
I know my answer, but I don't know about the average person.
I think on average it's 1 in 7.
I would say 1 in 7 too.
I was gonna say the same, actually.
I don't know. I'm between 1 in 7 or 1 in 5.
1 in 7, 1 in 5. So we're thinking that people typically last more as as friends, right?
If I remember correctly, statistically, you're only going to have about 2 or 3 people in your close friend group that can stay with you for 10 years or more, from what researchers have discovered.
Okay. Well,
statistical researchers.
So I was actually, I mean, to me this kind of makes sense just with the high density, but apparently you guys think like you guys have more long-lasting friends because I don't know. I was reading this and I was like, man, that's kind of insane. I want to take a second for the poll in chat. By the way, if you are listening either on YouTube or Spotify or wherever this is going to be, if you come to the live stream, you'll actually be able to vote in the chat which one you think it is, so you can interact through that for these trivias. There's going to be a trivia at the very end that's going to be only for YouTube, so stay in for YouTube if you'd like to see that. Otherwise, yeah. But there is an active poll. It's about to end. But yeah, so no, this one was, yeah, it was like 300 to 350 or so average friends in your lifespan that you, or something you could call a friend. And the statistic actually says it's actually about, let me see. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, wrong. Why is it? Oh, I didn't do this right. Fuck, my bad.
Well, that's fine. So while you're figuring that out, if I remember or not if I remember. So thinking about it too, demographically, it's always going to be different because population-wise, like I said, here in Montana, there's not a lot of people. It's not a lot of, is it 1 in 12? Wow.
Yeah, it's 1 in 12. Yeah, it's 1 in 12.
There's not a lot of people around here. So, like, you don't meet a lot of new people. You don't have a lot of friends that are going to be close. It's usually just a, like, little tight-knit group.
No, yeah.
Hence why, you guys know Garrett. I've known him for 15 years. He's the only person I've talked to that consecutively.
I mean, you have to take in consideration when they're doing like this whole like polling thing, probably a lot of the people who are willing to go to these polls are going to be more extroverted individuals. So you gotta think, I mean, you gotta think like the people who are like every other person in their life, or like every other person they're like who they've talked to is their friend or whatever.
Right. I feel like realistically it's closer to 1 in 5, 1 in 7.
I would say more 1 in 7 if you're going for like the average person. But yeah, you have to kind of consider who's like in these polls. But like even then, I mean, it kind of makes sense. 1 in 12, like there's like people in your childhood you used to call your friend you don't talk to ever anymore. Like
realistically, I mean,
guilty of that.
1 in 5 to 1 in 12 isn't a huge jump in numbers anyway. So
it's not huge, but I mean, like when you're talking about like if you're like how many 300 people divided by what 12 or whatever. Yeah, you can see like that's roughly how many people you'd be seeing as like a friend who lasts. Even then, that seems pretty high. Like honestly,
it does seem really, really high. It might just be because they have way more friends than the people who have like 1 or 2.
Right. Yeah. I wonder too if when was this poll taking place? Because it's especially with online, you know, people hopping online. I guess 1 in 12 could make a lot more sense because you'll start to congregate with people online a lot more than you did in person. So like you'll see someone who's super introverted at school or at work, but they've got like 30 friends they're talking to nightly on like Discord or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 1 in 12 means like out of 12 people, only one of them is actually your friend.
Well, yeah.
So that means like a 12th of the people you know you've ever considered a friend still talks to you, compared to like a 5th or a 7th.
Right.
So I mean, but yeah, that still seems pretty high. If anything, I would say it's like almost like 1 in like 30 almost, in my opinion. Like, because I've had so many people throughout my life as a kid. Even now, I'm only 20 and I've had so many people in my life. I'm like, oh, we're such good friends. And I don't ever talk to them again. Or I hate them.
Yeah.
It's like, and like you guys are like the like statistical, you know, improbability that all 4 of us are still fucking friends. So like, I mean, that's 3 out of. I mean, I have you guys. I have my buddy Shadow or Justice, who's been going on for 12 years with me. Like that's like 4 people I can say I consistently rely on, plus some people from college right now. That's like only like 10 people or 10, 12 people, and that's of like how many people in my life I've ever called a friend.
Right. And that's the other thing that's probably not really taken into consideration with these statistics is like environment and situation and just like luck. Honestly, a lot of it's 90% of your life you're going to go through. Things are going to happen. They're not going to happen. It's all going to be luck based.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. A lot of your like you'll go through life and you can have as many personal skills or life skills or all this stuff, but you know someone rolls the dice on you and you're fucked. Like
Yeah.
Your life could be make or break by that that dice roll.
Dice roll. Rice roll.
Rice roll.
I like rice dolls.
Yeah, but I mean, hey.
Can you imagine there's somebody out there that has rolled so low their entire life that they have no skills, no friends, no nothing. And then there's going to be another person, like not even maybe down the street, that just is like pure luck based and just everything goes right for them all the time. Like a Domino from Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, I've met some of the dumbest motherfuckers in college who are like straight A students and like you get through like life and high school, everything like that. I'm like, I feel like I know way more than you, and yet I'm over here getting C's. Like I can't even, I barely get through this. I mean, I understand I don't like apply myself as much as I should, but like these guys are so stupid, but they just know how to play the system.
And that's the thing too, is like it can all change on a dime though, because like I said earlier, I've been working since I was 14 years old, and up until probably last year, I've never had a problem being offered a job for just about any job I've interviewed for. But these last 4 to 5 months, I've interviewed for easily 200 jobs, and only 3 of them have asked for an interview.
Yep.
Oh man.
Same here.
Yeah, it's hard.
I kind of wanted to give. I was going to go into college and get ready to do all that kind of stuff, so I can at least have like something to say that I know what I'm doing. But I was gonna just grunt it out and be like, all right, well, let's see what happens. You know, see who would take me. What's the wages I could possibly get? See if I get lucky. And I was interviewed for I think 4 to 5 different places. Most of them were tech warehouses. One of them was like a place where they literally manufactured microchips. And funny enough, the one that actually wanted to legitimately take me was Costco.
Yeah.
And when I started, they were only going to keep me as a seasonal position, and they wanted to pay me only $13 an hour, which was not bad. It's like definitely not bad. That's pretty good. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Let's try this out. But even it was seasonal, so I was like, let's at least get some experience in, right? Well, it was after the 90 days they asked me if I wanted to stay, and doing so they would up me another $1. So I went with that. I stayed. I got $14 an hour. And I've gone through there for so long, and I've basically just hopped up the ladder from like taking over people's shifts, staying extra hours, closing, opening, doing really whatever they wanted to do. And every time you did something like that, and it kind of bumped up your pay because it bumped up like how much you're working per hour essentially. I've now climbed up from 13 to 21. I mean, I haven't really had an exact need to go to college yet. I mean, I would love to go in for technological engineering. That's something I've always wanted to do, but I haven't really had a need yet.
There's kind of like a little bit of a life hack that I've found, like because college is always like a big debate for a lot of people, but I think like one thing that I've figured out, it doesn't matter like what you want to do, get somewhere where they like wherever you're trying to go, they need people, because most of the time like for what I found right now, like if as long as you're like willing to stick with the job, they'll pay like all the training and shit for you that you'll need if they're hurting to get the people. Like as long as you have a good work ethic and still fill that spot, then they won't care, and they'll be like, yeah, stay here, we'll train you, we'll give you more money for staying, and yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's how it is. Like, small businesses, especially, sometimes can, because like I just started working for a small tech company. They're not super small. They're not really startup anymore, but they're still pretty small. And I'm making more money right now starting out there than I've ever made in my life. So,
Here you go.
I mean, another thing, like if you're desperate for money, I know people are gonna like. I mean, it does require a specific body type, but if you're desperate for money and you need to look for something, manual labor, fucking
manual labor will always pay well.
That will pay well. I mean, even if it's temporary, you don't have to do it too much. But like, I'm making $20 an hour.
Yeah,
40 hours a week.
Yeah, I'm making like almost 18 right now to move stuff off a truck, and then like if I go and learn, if they go and send me to school to like learn to just drive on top of what I already do, like literally just drive, that's it, they'll boost me up to $30.
Manual labor does really good. In school during the summers when I didn't have like a job at Chuck E. Cheese or something, I'd do curbing, and I was making like $800 a week.
Yeah, that's.
What is curbing? What is that?
So there's two different types of curbing. There's obviously the statewide, citywide, and stuff like that, where you're making the curbs for sidewalks, like the center stuff, that kind of stuff. That's not what I was doing. We were doing it for it was private curbing. So like probably one of my favorite things we worked on. There was this house that we worked on. It was about $1.2 million in value, and we were making like these little pedals out in their yard out of concrete curb for trees to go in and stuff like that, and it was just basically like exterior decorating on their lawns and stuff like that with concrete.
Interesting. I think my company does a bit of that, but I don't see that side. I don't see the construction side. I only see the, hey, pick up this fucking pile of shit and put it in the back of the truck. So, I mean, no, it's definitely cool. I mean, I wish I could kind of do more of like the, not carpenter, but like more like the building and stuff. That'd be kind of more fun, but. No. Oh, I hear a dog for a second. Who's that?
Oh, is that my dog?
A bit of
He
a
didn't even
wolf.
hear it. Only
It sounded like it's like a very stereotypical like dog sound effect. I'm like, damn, let the dogs out, man.
Someone's
Like
got a
DMX.
mic mod on, or no, the sound mod.
Anything else he wants to talk about? We have a few minutes left before we
Oh
end it
man,
here.
there's a lot, but I don't wanna dump everything out on this first podcast. You know.
No, I mean, I got you on that. I mean, I know this is a really like touchy topic right now. Like, I don't personally like talking about it. Like, we
like touchy topics.
Well, we haven't really talked about it too much yet.
Right.
I mean, as a friend group, but Technoblade.
Oh,
yeah, man. That hurt. I was at work and I got a notification from something, and I think it was probably Maya from Streamercraft, who's like a diehard techno stan, and I saw that, and I saw the So Long Nerds, and I tapped on it, and I was in the middle of mowing a lawn, with my phone in my pocket, just listening to his dad talk, and I was choking up. I felt like I was about to cry, but then I looked around, like, I can't cry on the job site, but I was just sitting there like, I'm about to fucking bawl my eyes out.
Honestly, I wasn't the biggest Technoblade fan. I would go in and I'd watch his videos every now and then. The last one I watched, because I don't know if he posted it in between it, but the last one I watched was when about 10 months ago, when he posted that one about talking about how he got diagnosed with cancer and how he was, having that pain and stuff. And then while I was at work Friday, I was like scrolling through Twitter, and I saw Rip Technoblade, and I was like, what the fuck happened? And I went onto his YouTube and I saw that video with his dad talking, and I was just sitting at my desk. I wasn't doing anything because we didn't have any tickets or anything in. I was just sitting at my desk, and I haven't cried in years, but I was on the edge.
That was hard, man. I mean,
sad.
I don't like to be the kind of person who pretends like I was a huge fan of Technoblade, but I mean, I loved his content. Like the occasional thing he'd post, the Potato War stuff he would do. His charismatic, like, I'm such an alpha Chad, kind of like vibe. I love that.
He had a good voice too. Like his voice
was so good.
It was iconic.
Yeah, I mean, I just love that. But I mean, it's been also kind of sad to see like just the stands on Twitter like abusing his death. Like I saw someone writing like fan fiction of why he died.
What?
Like
Dude,
in the Dream SMP, it's like that's so disgusting. Like,
I haven't been fucking with TikTok for a while because like every 2 posts it'll be something about Technoblade, and obviously it's just for likes because it's got hundreds of thousands of likes and stuff on it. I'm like, seriously, like,
no. I mean, I think it was really cool. I think it was really funny. Apparently, he left a book in the Dream SMP where it was like, if I die, my story is that I have conquered all governments on Earth, but now I must fight God in His kingdom.
Oh, that was like, one sad post I saw.
That's so cool.
Like, that's probably what that was referencing to then, because I did see a post of someone recording like a bunch of lightning and like, and they were talking about seeing Technoblade fight God. So that might have been what that was a reference to.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of. I mean, the dude literally. It's so sad. He wrote his like final goodbye 8 hours away from passing away, and it was still in his normal like, haha, nerds, I'm Technoblade kind of thing. It was like,
have you seen his merch?
Yeah, he's making merch. I feel like that's. I feel like I don't feel like his parents are capitalizing. I think he genuinely told them, "Here's my merch, and so you guys can like continue making money off my legacy."
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was one of the big things that he said. Well, that was one of the things he said was that he was happy he was able to give his family,
Yeah, he's
money
putting
and
his
stuff.
his siblings through college. I
College, yeah,
mean,
if they go, yeah.
yeah, like they get to decide what they want to do with the money that they can use for college or not. It's like that guy is just he knew what was gonna happen, and he left this
Number one
world with a good
Minecraft chat.
mark. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
oh, the Minecraft launcher has a pig with a crown on it now,
Yeah.
dude.
Yep.
That tore at my heartstrings again a little bit when I found that out.
Dude, that was painful. But I mean, it's so good to see that this community is like, it's like the Minecraft community is still like thriving in a way where they respect each
Right.
other in a way. Because
Yeah.
I felt like Microsoft would have, and Mojang's like thing would have made it like very much more like corporate
Mhm.
feeling.
Trying to
But
monopolize it.
yeah,
Like,
which they kind of
get a
have.
get a $2 Technoblade cape for this month only kind of thing. I'm glad they didn't though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to see that they like at least some of the developers who are still with Mojang like recognize the content creators and the
Yeah.
impact they have. I mean, that's kind of nice. And it's just I can't imagine like 20 what was 23?
Was he 23?
He was
Yeah,
23.
he was 23 when that's the sucky part is like it always seems like the good content creators always die super young because what was the one dude's name? His name started with an A. He also died really young.
Ooh.
He was a streamer. He was
I think I
I
know what
know.
you're talking about, but I
yeah,
don't.
or was it an E?
He was
It was
It was
He's-
E Ed's World.
no, not Ed's World, different guy.
he was
No?
he was a
Oh.
tech guy, wasn't he?
No,
Or no, not tech guy, not guy. He like oh
No, he
crap.
played games and stuff like that. I can't.
Oh, let me look this up real quick.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I mean, Ed's World was also a really, really fun YouTube career
Yeah.
that was booming for a moment, and then he died a while
It's
back.
Etika or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Etika,
yep,
Yeah.
Etika.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Etika. It was something similar to that though.
No, hold on.
I think me and Dave know this one for sure.
Yeah, Etika.
0607.
Is it Etika?
Yeah, here, let me share. I
Oh
can
yeah,
share.
yeah, Etika. Yeah, ETIKA.
Yeah, here. I can share my screen real quick. It will be this thing right here. Yeah, I'm not sharing my screen. It's gonna be on the. Oh, that is not the right thing. There it is. Etika, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah,
that
he
was.
also passed. I think he
I
had like
forgot to add your
problems or
guys'
something.
cameras in this one, but that's fine.
Uh-oh.
That's fine. We'll go back. But yeah, that's just that was kind of sad. I mean, it's good to see that they've made an impact. I mean, obviously they've left enough behind where they're not forgotten anytime soon.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
I mean, I was gonna say, like I mentioned before, there's my first probably like actual hard hitting YouTuber streamer death was like I think middle of 2010, 2011 was Kitty0607 because I grew up watching a lot of his stuff. And that was when Gmod, TF2, all that stuff was just booming, and that was when I was just able to play on a PC, and I had a GT 760 for the first time, so it was just like I could actually play those things I was watching, and watching all of his stuff come out was really freaking cool. And then when he came out with stuff like Team Fabulous 2 was when it like exploded for him, and then it wasn't even shortly long after that, not even a year after that, was when he passed away from cancer. And it wasn't even the fact that it was like devastating for me, it devastated so many people, to the fact where even today, like even a year ago, people are still making like fan recreations of his stuff. They're adding little tidbits of things that made his content so funny and so special to their videos to kind of long live him, you know what I mean? Like there was actually the Team Fabulous 2 video that he made a long time ago that got over 100 million views just out of nowhere. It's his biggest hitting one, and I think it's actually the biggest hitting Gmod / source filmmaker video that has come out ever. It is the number one, and people loved his stuff so much that there was literally so many content creators that wanted to team up and support, like kind of long live the legacy of him, that they literally remade the entire episode, but every single content creator of Gmod and TF2 and everybody else in between all had a part to play in it. They all played like a 5-second clip where they each hand animated or hand designed that 5-second clip, and they compiled it all together to recreate the entire show.
Damn.
It's one massive community working together to recreate something from someone they liked who passed away.
Which is
long.
I mean, I love it when people can get together and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can honestly see something like that happening with Technoblade soon. Like, I don't know what video it'll be exactly, but I can see it happening very, very soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of sucks to see people kind of just leave us so soon when they have so much more to give.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, the whole 27 Club. You guys know about that?
No, I haven't heard about the 27 Club.
27 Club is like this whole thing of like major celebrities and like singers and all these other stuff who died at the age of 27.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
It's like this huge list of people who've died at 27.
It was like a curse between the 30s and 60s, I think.
Yeah, hold on. 27 Club members, a brief history of the 27 Club.
I think one of my favorite older singers, a Spanish singer, Richie Valens, actually also, I'm pretty sure he died at 27 as well.
Yeah, people on that list. Let me see if I can find some. Let me see if there's any names you guys might recognize. Jimi Hendrix is on that list.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scrolling through a huge list. Some of these names are they're from the 60s and stuff and 50s, but like some of these names are yeah, I don't know most of these, but I mean, that's just a shit ton of individuals who've passed away at 27. There's some recent ones who haven't been added to this list I can recognize, but
there's like, probably even
Amy Winehouse, Robert Johnson, Alan Winston, Kurt Cobain.
I think Kurt Cobain was added to it. Yeah.
There's probably even more of like the younger like rapper generation of now, where there's everybody that's dying at like 21 now. That's another crazy thing too.
That's a whole epidemic with like their lifestyle. It tends to be too, though, with that kind of stuff. So that is a little more context to it than I mean, like a lot of the older singers that I know died around 27. Some of them were plane crashes or like just crazy events that you wouldn't think would happen. Wasn't Princess Diana also around 27?
I don't know, but Anton Yelchin was the Scotty from Star Trek. Not Scotty. Was it Scotty?
Yeah.
It's like
no.
He's like, I'm giving her all she got, Captain. That's guy.
That's not Scotty. That's
or whatever he was. There was like the engineer in the engine room or whatever. That everyone like that was always trying to like help. That kind of thing.
He died at 27?
Yeah, he died at 27.
Really?
He was.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was best known for playing Pavel Chekhov in the big screen Star Trek reboots. Died in a car accident.
Wow.
Jeez.
So,
yeah, a little bit of a something to kind of go off a little bit of a Chad moment in Star Trek. Do you know that the guy who played the original Scotty was actually in the Army, and he did some crazy stuff.
What did he do?
Really?
You know?
I read an article about it not too long ago. It was I think he got a Medal of Honor or something like that. One sec. I'll look into it and I'll come back to it in just a second.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, yeah, it's just celebrities dying young. I mean, it's kind of, there's obviously some, like if you look through the list, there's some reasons. Either they've been targeted by crazy fans or freak accidents. That's just the number amount of celebrities throughout the years. Someone's going to die at 27. I mean, drug overdose, because that's so rampant, and when you have such a huge predominant life and everyone thinks you're so happy, your life's probably miserable because everyone's got a camera on you, everyone's got like a little eye on you, and you turn to whatever makes you actually feel good. And sadly, sometimes for people that's drugs, and then they overdose, and so you got a lot of reasons why you could probably join that club, and it's just kind of a horrific thing.
So I found it. It was around 1940 during World War II. He was actually on the storm at Normandy Beach D-Day.
Oh my god!
He was a lieutenant in the United States Army. Yeah.
Wow.
Or was it Canadian Army? Or something? He might not. It was an army. It was one of the two.
He was on Normandy.
Yeah, he was on the beach in Normandy with him and his battalion.
Yeah, wasn't it?
So he was giving it all she's got.
Yeah, different guy, but yeah.
Wasn't Normandy most like it was American, Australian, Canadian, and
British?
were there? I don't remember there being that many British though. I think
there wasn't a whole lot,
it
but
was
there were British.
majority American with like a Canadian battalion, an Australian battalion.
There was a 14th battalion for the British Army was there.
Okay, there was I know it was like predominantly American, but I know there was a lot of like there was like the occasional like on Gold Beach or whatever something. There was like Canadians and Australians, but yeah. All right, well, if anyone's got any last things to say, I think we're touching on the hour and 10 mark, so I think we're gonna end it here soon. So anyone's got anything
just
left
to
Gotta
say?
save some content for next time.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice podcast. Thank you everyone for coming and watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed. This was a lot of fun.
Not bad.
I mean, I can't wait to continue doing this. I'm actually, so just a quick thing. I'm not going to possibly be here for the next two. So Felix actually might be taking over the reins for those two. There's a chance. Okay, there's a chance I'll be here for the next one, next Sunday. But then the Sunday after that, I don't think I will be because I'll be flying in the air. So unless I can somehow podcast from a plane, I think I'm going to be not active on that one. But yeah, so Felix is going to be taking over that, and I'll be giving him everything he needs for that. So definitely tune in for those. So if I show up for the next one, surprise. If I don't, then I'll be in Chicago for the next one. If I do, if not, then that's yeah. I know that's gross. So otherwise, there's going to be one last trivia after the outro happens. So that's going to be for YouTube only. That's going to be a consistent thing. So stay tuned on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, then have a good time and see you later.
Have a good one, boys.
Adios.
And girls.
Yes,
Have a good night. Have a good day, wherever.
Thanks for coming to the YouTube special.
Yeah, this is like the last little 5 minutes or something for the YouTube. So you guys aren't. I'm not,
the YouTube Power Hour.
The answer is not going to be revealed for this trivia question.
Right.
This is for the comments. I'll tell you guys after.
Right.
But for the YouTube, this is you guys can just put this in the comments. Guess what you think it is.
And then how about on the Twitter, because I'm controlling the Twitter right now. Let's give it a couple hours after the VOD post, and I can post the answer for the.
For this one? No, this isn't going to be on the VOD.
It's on YouTube, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like an hour after the YouTube video gets posted, I could post the answer to the trivia.
Yeah, if you want to check it out on Twitter or Instagram, or I don't know if we're going to put it on TikTok, but TikTok's going to be open up for whatever we talk about.
I'll definitely post the answer on Twitter. So.
Okay. Yeah, the answer will be. You'll definitely get the answer on Twitter, Instagram maybe. That's all this stuff is still new, so we'll see how things kind of go. But Twitter will definitely get the answer. But here's the question, boys. Let me pull it up. How many? Okay, so this is a recent study, really recent. Between ages of 13 and 17, they asked these teenagers roughly what percentage of your friends are made online.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah. So recent, very recent. I think it was like only 2 years ago. So only 2 years ago, or a year, 2 years ago. How many of your friends are online? The first one, 35%.
Okay.
Second, 57%, and the third one, 72%.
72.
I'm kind of curious to see. Like, let's get some talks of that. Like, what do you?
You said 13 to 17.
13 to 17. So these are.
I was gonna say 57 at first. I've got to say 72.
So this is the generation where the iPhone and Discord and everything is just rampant. Everyone's got any ways of talking to each other.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
72.
I was first thinking the 72, but I changed to 50 because I feel like if you were in school at that phrase, like that time, it's not gonna be as hard as it was maybe back then, like where we all had like flip phones or like iPhones, something like that. We didn't have a lot of Instagram, Twitter, any kind of direct messaging of some kind. So if you met your friend in school, it was easier to keep in touch now than it was back then. So
but you got to think about too how many people are actually making friends in school.
Well, how many people actually only? That's the thing. Is like probably a lot of them are in person, but a majority are easily to keep in contact by social media.
Dave, what do you think?
I'm gonna say around 50.
I'm not sure because they definitely, I feel like there's a lot more of a use to like get a use of social media to at least start that process, but like at the same time it's like what about if you're going to school or college? It's like you're seeing people daily. Okay, fair point, but also what if you're just one of those people that's like I don't want to interact with those people because I believe they suck.
Yeah.
I mean, you also got to keep in contact with your friends. But if this was over just under 2 years ago, we were just in the middle of the COVID phase where we weren't even allowed to go to school. So it could be a 70.
Exactly.
I'm thinking 72.
Yeah, 72.
Answer will be posted after the video posts.
So real quick before we go, I want you. So Felix and Dave think 72. Apex, what do you think? 57 or 72?
57.
57. All right. No, that's the choices. That's the ideas. You've heard their rationalizations. So if you whatever you think it is, put it in the comment below, and then we'll see you guys for the next podcast, which will be
July 5th
in a
on
week.
Twitter. Stay tuned for the answer. Also, just real quick before we go, I want you guys to know 8 a.m. July 5th, our time, Mountain Standard Time at least. CERN will be firing up the Large Hadron Collider for the first time in about 3 years with a bunch of new upgrades. So stay tuned for that too.
Oh yeah, hopefully we don't blow up the planet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we last that long. All right. Well, see you guys in the next one. This is fun.
Bye.
Bye bye.
That was fun. That was nice.